Hello everybody, welcome back to the hybrid deployment demonstrations. Today I would like to continue to the second part of the deployment. Just a few recap what we have done in the previous video. We had our required service turned on our on-prem SharePoint servers. We added domain to the Office 365. I showed you how to do that. Install and activate DirSync with password sync option enabled. Verify DirSync in on-prem and in Office 365. And we started the section of establishing server-to-server authentications. Just a quick question, like why we actually need hybrid deployment? There's a one, if we say we migrated recently 50 site collections to Office 365. So definitely to user there will be a new URL, okay, because it has been moved to a new site, new forms. And if we have a 50 site collections, and obviously there will be a lot of documents, so in order to provide the whole list of the new URL, you need to create a big list, and you need to advise the users that now it's no more the old environment or old URL is working. In this case, hybrid search can bring the best for the organizations, because you don't even need to tell these things to the user. User won't have any different feelings. They will once you implement the hybrid search implementation, user will still get the same document as their search results. They just have to click on the search result. That's it. So this is obviously, actually I'm talking about this, one of the benefit of the outbound search. So user doesn't even need to know about the migrations. They will still get those documents in the search result. So the experience will be seamless. Okay, let's start. So this is just a flow what we have done. We did activate DirSync on the tenant, add on-prem domain to the Office 365, then update DNS records. As I think I did mention about this, since if you are having your domain hosted somewhere else other than Microsoft or GoDaddy, for example, you need to update these records, and these variables will be created on when you at the process of adding domain. Then obviously you have to run the wizard of the synchronizations and validate. And once it's done, so you need to assign. Actually, I didn't show these things, but you need to assign license in Office 365 to them. As for example, for me, I'm a test user. I had assigned license, obviously license to myself. Now, just a quick brief. What actually happened when this whole call or interactions between on-prem and Office 365. Mainly there's three or four important things as I mentioned here. First is that DirSync server, which is a member server on your forms. It manages the user and the group replications. It transfer AD content via on-prem AD content via the synchronization process and map it to Azure AD. And it also configure the claims. Also the mappings happens here. Okay. Second thing is the SES trust. It sets up all the server-to-server trust and also the trust between the form and the on-prem forms, to form communications trust. Then is the ADFS. Obviously this we need for our seamless single sign-on experiences. That's what we need. We actually don't need if we want to have just outbound search, but when you need single sign-on, we need this ADFS installed. last is number 4 is the reverse proxy. It actually does two very important things. As for example, if we want to communicate from Office 365 back to our on-prem server, we actually need to publish this on-premise farm to the internet so that Office 365 easily communicate through internet to this SharePoint on-prem farm. And obviously that Office 365 online has to be trusted. It does communicate to our on-prem server through this reverse proxy. One thing is we actually used certificates in secure storing online and also in reverse proxy. So this reverse proxy is responsible for validating all the incoming requests, and we use certificate mapping process. So we make a request from SharePoint Online to SharePoint on-prem farm through this reverse proxy server, and it uses this certificate to authenticate the incoming request. So what you have to do, I'll show these things in probably third or fourth video, how we set up the inbound search. I mean, in this video, also from the previous video, we are doing actually outbound search where we can see the results from online. But when we need to show the results from on-prem, like you had seen in my environment, from on-prem to online, then we need to set up this trust. I mean, we need to have the same certificate. We need to create a secure store key online using the same certificate which is used in reverse proxy. That way they can validate this, they can match the certificate that okay, this is coming, the request is coming from a trusted source online. Okay, let's go to the next step. This is I won't be discussing this more. This is sort of a what happens in the synchronization process. This is just here for your reference. Now, as we are continuing the established server-to-server authentication, these are the steps we actually will be doing, and there are a lot of PowerShell which I'll be showing you in the next few slides and a document. This is first one is replacing the security token signing certificates across all SharePoint server. Then deploy Windows Azure ID PowerShells with Microsoft Sign-in. Establish trust between on-premise farm and SP online by replacing certificates. Then we'll be adding service principal, register SP online, setting authentication realm, configure proxy. So what I'll be showing actually, because my environment is already configured, but I did use a lot of screen cap on them when I was deploying these things from the live environment. I'll be sharing that document with you so that you can see those PowerShell script in play, how it worked. Okay, so I assume and I believe if you use the similar PowerShell, changing your variables to your own respective to your own organizations, it should work. So let's bring the document where I've got all the screen. This is my screen. First, what I have done, as you can see in this screen, I've set up this all these variables here where it says certificates of the personal information exchange, then in certificate in CR format. These are the variable I'm storing the password, then certificate name and the site and the app ID, which is, you can use this always for the online. As you have seen that I have used here I've stored that certificate in both format, so PFX and CR format. That's the password, that's my site, because it's issued to start it, so I'm using wildcard certificate. If it's yours, it's different name, you can use different name. My SharePoint on-prem site is this, the SSL implemented, and this is the online. It will be same, you can use the same. Then PFX, then I try to create an object of the certificate. So So I've used all those parameters there, and I try to set the security token service using all this variable. As soon as it is done, then I get obviously confirmations to confirm these things. Then I need to restart IIS. As you've seen, you have restarted the IIS and restarted all other SP services, timer service. Once I've done these things, I try to validate the security token service. That's the way I have done. I call SP security token service config. As I've seen that, then it's showing me the certificate name, OU, wildcard. So next step, I did some conversations with certificates to base 64. So as I've seen that, I've created that object again, then assign that create another variables, so certificate, then I have implemented these things. So this is sort of a actually converting to base 64. Okay, I'm taking the existing certificate then converting to base 64. Then I try to establish remote Windows PowerShell connection with Office 365. Obviously, I need to run PowerShell from my on-prem to Office 365. So obviously, I enable that pre-yes remoting. So you will get some prompt. You just say yes for all the actions. So you'll be able to see this video, so I'm just skipping this. Then you try to connect to the Office 365 with your global admin access, which I have connected. So you need to provide this username and password, which is registered when you subscribe for the Office 365. Then I had to actually register the on-prem SDSS service principal in the Office 365. As you can see, that these are the PowerShell I have used to register. So these are still using the same variable because I'm using the same session of the PowerShell window. Okay. Then I try to set the SharePoint authentication realm. Then if you want, you can print this one and see this what is. Then finally, I try to establish the on-prem farm and trust with the Azure certificate service. So I took that size. This is my SharePoint site, on-prem.office365lab.com.au. Then a principal name. Then I try to set the authentications. Sorry, you usually don't need these things because we're doing it here. Okay. Now, once you have done these things, you can see this trust is already established, and these are some printed variable. So that's all. So once it's done, you will see that everything works fine. Hopefully, you'll be able to successfully run all this script. Okay, so once it is done, your environment is pretty much ready for this outbound search, like I have shown you in my. Let me go back to my environment where my. So that's This is as you can see, this is inbound, but outbound. This is the search we are actually configuring, where it's bringing the results from online to here. Okay. So after this we actually, this was the environment which I actually implemented the whole whole integrations. Okay. So before this, once you run all this PowerShell script, you need to actually configured the result source to see the things. So what I have done in that configurations, I'll show you these things. This is a quick. You can configure this result source in multiple levels. One, you can do this in your central admin, which can be global to every site collections or every sites or every web applications, or you can do in your site collection level. You can create this result source, or you can do this in your site levels. What I have done, I have actually used an enterprise search. As you have seen in my search results, it's using enterprise search. So I created enterprise as a site collections using a template of enterprise search. Then I connected this enterprise search to all of the web applications. First thing is to create that. So what I did actually, I come to my search service applications. As you have seen, go to the central administrations. I'll be going because let's see. So I came to all this service application, then select the search service applications, then create a. So let me go to my result source. This is. So as you can see, though I need to, which I usually use, I can use this as a default. So this is my search result source I have created. Let me go to what I have done. I put a name, then I selected this remote SharePoint. Okay, then obviously I put that URL, and it's a default authentications. Whoever is logging in, whoever is searching, that's the authentication will be used for that person's. So we're not using SS or secure socket. So we'll be using this authentication or credentials while we do when we configure the inbound search. Okay. After this, we did configure the query rules, which was, I went to the query rules. So let me go back first. So when I if I try to edit these things, so I put the name of the query. One thing you need to do, you need to select all sources, and as it just leave as the default things, then publishings as you leave it as a default. Now these are the things I want to show you. Results, edit, so I just configured them. So let me show you. So I had to select that results, search this source, settings I kept same, this one I kept the same. Okay, so publishing I didn't use, I just make sure that it is active. So that's all. And what I did, I created a search. If I go to search, go to my service applications. If you see here, search service applications, I have used that my global search center URL as this. Okay, so enterprise search. Now if I go to my search settings, on the site collections, you'll see, you come to search settings. I've used here search center URL as enterprise search. Okay. Now another things I would like to show you. See, in the site level, this is site collection level, this is site level. What I have did, I have used this URL and I added everything's and use this URL. So if I just see what I have done, you can can see. You will see that everything, but just to refresh the configuration, I added this everything and put the URL back like this, whatever my search URL, and that's it. So that why I have done these things, if I search anything from my site, it will default automatically to this search. Otherwise, if you don't do this, you will see that you don't bring any results, and you need to go to there and select everything every time. Select these options to get these results. Okay, so that's all. So it's a quick demonstration, I believe, but it's a lot of things there, especially with the PowerShell. So let's see. I think we are at the next section. Will be obviously my inbound search, where you will be able to configure, see the search results from SharePoint on-prem to online, like I showed you. This one. Sorry, this. No, so this one. Okay, so getting the results from on-prem to online. So that's all. So this is actually, that's at the end of the whole 4 videos we'll be able to do. We will be actually implementing the full 2-way bound topology of this search. Okay, here's some links. What so far I put this video, and this is the second one, which current video. That's all. I'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, thank you everybody for joining the video.